Spider-Man 3 is the last movie in the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies era. I have no idea what you want to say. New villain once again. I'm a bit sad that they kind of like didn't have Dr. Octavius again, but yeah. This movie is different than all the other Spider-Man movies, and the other Spider-Man movies have like a 7.4 or 7.2 out of 10, the first one and second one. Now this one has like a 6.3 out of 10 or 6.6. I don't actually know, but it has at least something with a 6 out of 10. So, and people say it's the weakest in the entire Spider-Man movie franchise. Of all the movies, I actually think. Even the Andrew Garfield ones. I don't know actually exactly, but this movie, I agree. Well, this is what I gotta say about the movie. Let's start with the positives. I think the cool thing with this movie is that it introduces basically a new villain. But this villain looks like Spider-Man, except the suit is black. And this is Venom. They have made 2 films about Venom. So it become like, well, a little movie series. Maybe you can call it that, even though it's just 2 movies. But Venom is basically just a scarier version of Spider-Man because he has these sharp teeth and stuff. And he's just obviously a much more evil version of Spider-Man. And basically Spider-Man, it's this like little leech or whatever that gets lost. And then it's on Spider-Man's body or Peter Parker's body. And then it makes Peter Parker to a bad Spider-Man and gives him this black suit. So then his whole... Is it only me? Yeah, Peter Parker, he had brown hair before. And when he was evil Spider-Man, he had black hair, I think. I was just like, his hair has changed. Am I the only one who's seen that? But no, he has black hair. Now, I just think it's kind of cool that they made kind of like evil Spider-Man. Then basically basically Peter Parker, played by Tobey Maguire, has to get out of this body or whatever. So then he takes... Oh yeah, spoilers for all these movies. I don't know how to explain otherwise. Otherwise I'm going to be sitting here stuttering like, wait, what? And shit like that. Yeah, but I just think it's a kind of cool concept that we get to see evil Spider-Man, but also him trying to get out of this body. And then Peter Parker, played by Tobey Maguire, gets this thing off his body, and basically another person gets it on his body, and then we've got basically this person called... Yes, man, how could I not... This person called Eddie. Then he has the evil Spider-Man suit. Then he gets evil. And basically, in this end of the movie, he starts, like, attacking everyone. He gets evil Spider-Man. And he kind of, like, wants to kill Mary Jane Watson. And then Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man, I guess, saves her. But this movie... I know it's the final movie in the franchise, so they kind of had to do is just to do, like, a bit sad. But what I like about Spider-Man movies, one thing, it's sad that they have, like, it's a 2-hour-long movie, and that none of the good characters die. Like, you don't want to see good characters die, but it just feels like, even if it's a good side character, even if it's freaking J. Jonah Jameson, news guy, whatever you want to say, the guy who works on the job, who's like the boss of Peter Parker. I don't know. Maybe he could be. And then I think that... But basically, the end of this movie I think was good, because you saw like quite a few of the main characters actually die. Obviously this is like the biggest spoiler in the movie, and I'm sorry, but... read my about section. That's smart. Maybe I should do a little like banner on my YouTube channel. Actually, I don't know how to change banner, but who cares? Basically, so the 2 people who die in the end of this movie is Harry and what is he called? No, it's Harry and someone else who I forgot. But basically, they die, and it's kind of like a sad ending because Harry is a character you kind of cared about. Because sometimes he was being like, he wasn't the good villain, he was the bad villain. But sometimes he went from being the good villain he went from being the good villain. He went from being the good person to the bad guy. Good guy to the bad guy. Good guy to the bad guy. Good guy to the... Yeah, you get it. He did that a lot of times in this movie. And that's basically like all I gotta say about the positives. And I just think it's a good Spider-Man movie. And it has some pretty frightening and pretty good action scenes indeed. I gotta say that. But negatives about this movie, I kind of have quite many. Because this is for sure a bit weaker, just a bit more weaker than the first Spider-Man movie, I think. I think Spider-Man 2 of the Tobey and Maguire era is the best. And then I think Spider-Man 1, because it's obviously the classic. You can't, like, pass that, can you? Except Spider-Man 2 did that. But I've got quite a lot of negatives about this movie. The first thing is that I don't know what they thought of the idea of making, like, it was just hard to watch, Spider-Man being, like, mean to Mary Jane Watson, and it was kind of just, like, hard to watch. It's not something, and then just his weird dance moves that has even become the meme, it's just weird. And then I think that there's some, like, characters here that just, I feel like they should have sticked with Eddie. They stick with him for quite a long time in the movie, but I just felt like Sandman he was kind of a unique of a character, but I just felt like it was a very, very weird concept. Sandman. I'm not joking. His real name is Flint Marko in the, what is it called? His full name or real name that isn't Sandman is Flint Marko in this movie. But Sandman, he's obviously a man made of sand. And he was just a very weird villain in this movie, which I didn't really like. I definitely wish that they took back Dr. Octavius, because even if the villain dies in a few other movie franchises or trilogies or whatever, the villain sometimes comes back. Basically, I also think that there was some characters that were just kind of... Now, obviously, now in this movie, Spider-Man's and Mary Jane's relationship is kind of fucked up. It's kind of bad. And Tobey and Spider-Man, obviously Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, isn't a very likable character, not at all a likable character in the beginning. And even though he was like being kind of annoying to Gwen, because he kissed Gwen, or Gwen kissed Spider-Man, then obviously Mary Jane didn't feel good about that, because obviously if you were someone's wife and if your wife was kissing another man, you wouldn't be happy, and that's how Mary Jane felt like. So basically, then Spider-Man is about to propose to her in a restaurant, but she is very sad, of course, and leaves. And basically then Spider-Man has the worst apology I've probably ever seen. Or he doesn't even have an apology. He just feels bad. And the apology is like, sorry, I hope you feel better. Like, come on. It just makes you feel like, you could have done this so much more better if you just did the right thing. Like, it's not that hard. And I also thought that Gwen was kind of a useless character. Bryce Dallas Howard, she has also been with, I hope I said that right, she has also been with in the Jurassic World movies, at least. And she's pretty good in them, I gotta say. Now, but I just feel like, I don't know, this movie is just kind of sad to watch. It's a very sad Spider-Man movie to watch, but it's kind of good. It's a bit more like maybe focusing a bit more on Mary Jane and on Spider-Man being bad, obviously. Like, that's kind of a bit of a twist, I think. But I just thought that this movie, I just thought that And then you're thinking like this, that like, I don't know. I just felt like there were a few characters in this movie that were quite useless. And I just felt like, it just felt a bit weird when we had, well, Green Goblin, you can call him, or basically Harry's father, which died. Now kind of Harry's like the bad guy, and when they keep on switching between who's the good and bad villain, it gets quite confusing, and I don't know how I think about that, because it just gets kind of very weird. It's a very weird storyline. Otherwise, it's a pretty okay movie. I think this movie's quite overhated, but I had still fun with it. So I'm going to give the movie a low 7 out of 10.